Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about Dominic's $100,000.
Take a crack at it. Take a crack at it. Let's see how it goes.
Guglielmi's?
It's probably pretty close, I would guess. I don't actually. Part of
Italian,
the fun of the show was knowing Beka was going to have to say that name. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I just saw it and I spotted it as I was going through the intro, and I'm like, oh no, Guglielmi. I think Guglielmi's is probably right.
I think Guglielmi is right. Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's talk about his $100,000 bourbon collection. Can we start over, Steve?
No, I think this is good. Do we need to introduce the people, though?
My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guest, Nate Weinegar. Guest? I don't know why I say guest.
Guest?
This is a bad start to the show. Nate's here, Danny's here, and Jim's here. That's all I'm doing, you guys.
Hey, gang, what's up?
What's up?
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
So, yeah, we got a fun show here. We got a guy who spent $100,000 on Blanton's, so we'll talk about that after the break and what we think of that. Is that a good idea? Is it cool just to focus on one thing? Has this guy done a good job of curating something nice? Which the thing is, it's relatively new spend too. So it's a pandemic hobby that started. So this guy hasn't been doing it for 20 years or anything. So pretty interesting stuff. But we'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, Danny said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Danny? On his new mic, by the way. He's got the snowball.
Okay. Well, my question was to the group is I've heard an old wives' tale that while you're drinking harder liquor,
Okay.
should you or should you not eat something sweet beforehand or while you are drinking?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I just got through eating some waffles. So,
Okay.
I mean, the
Danny's on
syrup
a downward slope is what he's telling us.
Yeah. Danny will be
Oh.
projectile vomiting by show 4.
He'll be
Hopefully not.
passed out by show 3.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have a YouTube video out there. He was at an event and fell asleep. What's that? What was that?
Are we
Jim?
saying that it's supposed to get you drunk quicker if you eat something
Yes.
sweet?
Quicker. Okay.
Okay.
That's the old wives' tale I heard. So I don't know if it's true, but what are y'all's opinion on it? And what's your experience?
We can do some research and development on this.
Okay.
Like, I can drink a
Alright.
certain
Yeah, there
amount
we
of
go.
liquor in a night, and I'll just have either sweet or bland, and then we'll find out how drunk I get when we ask my husband. I'll do touch your nose. Tip
I
your
think the first 2 shows you go for the sweet, and then the second 2 is whiskey because
Right. Like I said, I've already eaten some waffles with some bourbon syrup that was cured out of 291 paired with a maple syrup company, and they turn and gave their 291 gave their barrels to this maple syrup company. The maple syrup company put their maple syrup in it. Then 291 got it back. So, and then they did a expression of M. So
the M expression. Okay. Becca's looking for something sweet now, I think. So we'll see what she comes up with. So we'll try it. We'll see how she does. We're going to do some.
I think the only reason it would work is if you like. I think the only way it works is if you like pairing it with something sweet, so you drink more. But I don't think it has any effect on how much you absorb the alcohol. I think you just might want to drink more because it pairs well with a chocolate or something like that with a bourbon.
So you think it's just a matter of drinking more then? I don't know.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from the sweet stuff anyway, so alcohol wise, but food wise, I haven't ever found any. I mean, I don't know that I'm eating an excessive amount of sweet food and drinking at the same time either. Nate, how about you?
I have to wash this down now too.
Well, I only know two things that make me get drunk faster, and that's drinking higher proof stuff and more
Okay.
and then altitude and sea level. Like those are the two things that I always
Nope. That's a lie. You know three. You know three because I hung out with you one time when you didn't eat dinner and you came on here and drank and you got just annihilated. And you said it's because you didn't eat dinner.
I didn't have my waffles, so apparently. But no, I don't know anything about the sweet thing. As you can tell by my physique, I only put healthy things in my body.
Into the temple.
Right. So
yeah. Okay. So I don't know. We're just going to try the experiment. We'll see what happens with Beka. We'll know by our fourth show. And how will the audience know when it's going to be? Just randomly
know.
Listen every day and you'll hear all 4 shows.
Yeah, they'll know.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't
I've
need to tell you to
gotten
jump around. We're not going to help you just tune in and tune out. Fuck that. No,
yeah, I mean,
you
I've
guys
gotten
know.
drunk our last few recordings, but I wasn't visibly wasted.
Says she. All right.
I've
Well,
been visibly wasted. You're right.
it is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We'll start with Beka. Beka, what are you starting to here? What are you drinking?
I'm going to start lowest proof and work my way up. I've got some of Baitable Hillbillies Huckleberry Moonshine.
Oh, sweet.
Yep, and it's only 45 proof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Decent. All right, Danny, what do you got?
I've got this new Davis County double barrel.
Okay.
It's only 96 proof, but I found it today. I figured, what the hell, why not try it?
All right.
that's a solid bottle, Danny. That's a solid bottle. Very good, man. I like
Okay.
that bottle.
I did not hear.
I've tried their other expressions, but I have not tried this one yet. So
All right.
I was interested.
Jim, what do you got?
I'm not going to get much cork pop on this. I'm doing a still 630 experiment 49.
No.
Not much, 200 mils. So
No. Becca's still got the lead. So what do you got, Nate?
I've got our Weller Full Proof single barrel that just came out, and so we'll see how this goes.
Okay. Form was not great, but that's the lead. I mean, yeah, the cork pop was decent. He hit the table and sloshed it, but so the door's open for me here. I've got Yellowstone 2020 here. So let's see what we got. Come on, baby. Be good to me. Ooh. Oh, I think Nate's was a little bit better, but the penalties, I think, is going to give me the advantage here. I mean, I stuck the landing. What do you think, Beka?
Nate won it, not you.
Go back on mute.
He had some penalties. He had penalties, but
Okay.
it was still better all around, even though yours was a solid mediocre.
So yeah, mine. I agree. Mine wasn't great. But I had no penalties. But okay, well, I'd have to live with it. When you throw it to a judge, no matter how much you disagree, you got to live with it. So that's what I did, and I'll live with it. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about this collection of Blantons. We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and I'm excited to announce a brand new partnership with Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Many of you have perhaps heard of Leatherwood via our co-host on the Bourbon Daily, Kaylee Baker, who works there. Well, they're now an official sponsor of the network, and we look forward to everyone getting to know a little bit more about them. Company founder Andrew Lang brought his brewing and distilling hobby with him during his years of service as a Green Beret in the United States Army. Whether he was at his home base of Fort Campbell or during tours of duty in places like Italy or Afghanistan, Lang distilled whatever was available to him locally. We are excited about getting to know Andrew Lang and his team better via our programming and are planning a trip down there for the ABV Network crew very soon. In the meantime, check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com, where they will ship bottles directly to you, including their special Remembering 9/11 series, which is raising money for military charities. Seriously, get out there, buy some bottles, help a good cause, and let us know what you think. We're really excited about this partnership. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
This is Freddie Mills, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about a $100,000 bourbon collection of Blantons.
Yes, we are. So the goal for this guy, he's all in on Blantons. That's all that he drinks, and that's all that he collects. So, you know, in terms of drinking, I think he does drink some of the older ones from time to time when he can find extra ones and things like that. But he's a collector first and foremost. So I know that's not going to sit well with Nate, but let's talk about this, though. He does focus on one brand. That's kind of cool, I think, to have loyalty to one brand. And then he goes back and he also collects memorabilia. If you look, I included a couple photos in there. And so you've got he's got like a watch that apparently is really hard to find and some other stuff that he's collected through the years. He's got one bottle there that's apparently a super rare one. And then he's got the rest of them. There's all these, as we know with Blantons, there's all these different variants and stuff like that. I'm sure he tries to collect everything, store picks and all that kind of stuff. It's not a huge collection. It's not like this $100,000 is tied up in 4,000 bottles. It's like 65 bottles or something like that. It's not a huge amount, but again, he's collecting Blantons, super popular. He's also collecting the super rare Blantons, and he's collecting it at the highest bourbon's ever been price wise. So, you know, he's got a very valuable collection that he's managed to put together here. But is this cool or not? Let's talk about it. What do you think, Jim?
So I think the collection is kind of cool. I think the collection is kind of cool, but I don't know if he is. If you read through the article, I don't think he understands Blanton's, because on several times he talks about this was only 1 or 2 barrels for this bottle. Well, it's all single barrels. So it's all one barrel.
Right.
He talks, this one only had 180 bottles came out of, in this one here. Well, they all only have about 100, like it's all 8-year-old roughly, stuff coming out of there, and it's all single barrel. And he makes a comment several times about, well, this one only comes from 1 barrel. It all does.
He might be referring to, and again, maybe like a variation. So, black bottle with this certain topper, and they did 2 barrels, which would mean, they could do more than 1 barrel in the styles, maybe. And maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. But again, I think he's relatively new to this whole thing. And he's just apparently a guy with a lot of money that's dumped a lot.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Into a pretty high profile thing. So that's,
Okay.
if he'd have been doing this for 20 years, he'd probably have a much bigger collection and in it for much less too.
I gotta say this about the article too, about this guy.
Yeah.
I do for one think it is cool to like just focus on like one brand.
That's kind of cool. I think that's
like that. Like, your collection is Blanton's, like that I think is cool to just be brand focused on something. But this is, and I have glanced through the article, but they asked how many bottles he owns, and he said out of the collectible only bottles, he has 42.
42.
And he says he keeps a pretty detailed record so he can understand his investment and what he has and what he needs. 42 fucking bottles. What are you talking about to understand what you have? What are you fucking talking about? Doesn't Danny have like 600 fucking bottles? Like,
I've got over 1,000.
yeah,
He's gonna have Danny come up and show him how to do a proper inventory. Missy will be with
and you have pretty detailed records so I can understand my investment.
Oh, my wife can turn around and show him what a detailed record.
Yeah, and like you have like spreadsheets and stuff about all your things,
Oh
right?
yeah.
No, the wife does, not me.
Okay. But still, like that makes sense in a collection that large.
Mm-hmm.
But like you have 42 fucking bottles. Like I don't understand like what
Right.
like what is the
Yeah. He's got a lot invested. Nate, again, I know you're big into the don't collect, drink, but this guy he's collecting these things that are so rare. A lot of them are literally very few of them. I don't want to say he's got any that are one of a kind because he doesn't have that, but he's got things that are very low releases and things like that. And to drink it, and it's probably not all that different than any other Blanton's, to be honest. Blanton's is Blanton's. If I take 8 of those and crack them open that are worth $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is, it's not going to taste any different than any other Blanton's. Let's be honest. It's Blanton's is Blanton's. So it's single barrels. It's going to be variants, and you're not going to be able to taste a huge. That's like one's going to be way better than the others. So, Nate, what do you think about a guy who has a collection like this?
This actually doesn't really bother me.
Okay, yeah.
To be honest with you, a lot of these are older Dusties that were one-off releases, European releases, Japanese releases, and this is not really a guy that bothers me that much because to each their own. I do think it's stupid to like buy things that you'll never taste if you're buying whiskey. I think it's stupid to buy cars and put them on blocks that you'll never drive. I think it's stupid to buy artwork that you're going to put in a vault and never display. Like those things to me are just, but if they're investing and it's an investment to him, I don't really think this guy's hurting anybody. The guy that freaking drives me nuts is the douchebag that goes into 10 to 15 liquor stores a day, harasses the managers, the liquor store staff for a Blanton's, only to go out into the parking lot when he lands one and take a crotch shot and put it up and try and make $20-$40 off of it.
You're right.
That guy's a Nimrod and everything wrong with whiskey right there.
Yeah.
Other than that, this guy, quite frankly, good for him, man. He's, he did say he opened some, shared some. I agree with Beka Sue. Like it's 42 bottles. It's not shit in the scheme of things. I think that's a real small percentage of whiskey on this earth. So
let's be honest. Every single one of us, if we had an opportunity to buy the sterling silver, not at a crazy price, but if someone knew someone and said, "Hey, had a family member, pass away. We know this is worth some money, but we don't really just want it. Give me a fair price on the sterling silver blends." And there's less than 6 of those made. I think all of us would buy it if we could get it for a fair price. But would any of us then pop it and drink it? I wouldn't. I would save that as a talking thing because again, it's not going to be that much better than Blanton's straight from the barrel or any of the other ones that you can drink it. Beka, would you open it up and drink it? The sterling silver? I bet your Royce would intercede. As soon as you go to crack that, he'd run and grab it from you.
So here's the thing. It depends on the day with Royce. There's some days where he would absolutely not be okay with opening that bottle. But there's other days where he'd be like, let's just open it up. Let's open it up. Let's see what it tastes like. Because his curiosity kills the cat sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I would think
Also might depend on how drunk Royce is at the time.
it's
That
true.
as well.
That plays into it. That does play
I
into it.
would sell it to make money on it.
Yeah, but okay, if you got it now, would you instantly flip it, or would you hold? Because I don't envision one that there's only 100 bottles made initially, 6 that they have an inventory of that they know still exist. I don't see how that one's going to go down in value. Would you instantly flip it, or would you save it for a while, show it off, and then ultimately then sell it?
I'd probably hold it.
Yeah, me too. I would hold. Yeah. I would let someone else crack it if they want to open it and spend that kind of money on it, but I wouldn't. It's just me.
It would depend how much money I spent on buying it.
The one that I would drink for sure is like something like that would be like A.H. Hirsch. You know, that's one I would buy knowing full well that I'm going to drink it. You know, but
Yeah.
something like that.
Because of our connection to Dick Stoll, I mean, that's high on my list to get a bottle of that.
Even
And
like
again,
OFC, I would definitely crack OFC. I'd probably even definitely crack Rip 25. But like this incredibly expensive Blanton's really doesn't do nothing for me besides making money off of it. Because like you said, it's all going to taste probably.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no magic Blantons out there that suddenly is just going to change everything that we know about bourbon. No, it's not going to happen.
But what if there is?
It's like,
yeah,
But
I mean, straight from the barrel. Straight from the barrel is still one of my favorites, and it's funny. He talked about the Dumont de Whiskey in Paris, and that's where I bought my straight from the barrel at several years ago. It does sound like he gets a lot of this stuff overseas, so he's not hurting us or hurting people over here that are trying to buy Blanton for the most part. Sounds like a lot of the stuff he's collecting. Like the one point he brought 28 bottles back from Japan or something like that at once.
yeah,
Yeah.
business travel stuff. Yeah, it's cool. I don't even know how you do that.
More than half of his collection in a suitcase.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I will tell you this. With my experience with Blanton's, absolutely, it's a hit or miss. Okay. So, I mean, I've tried different versions of it and everything else. I mean, because like I said, they're single barrels.
Right.
Okay. Well, there was one that was exceptional to me, and it was picked by a restaurant here in St. Louis. Westport, I think it was. No. Okay. My wife's correcting me.
Okay.
West something.
She got the spreadsheet.
Or
was-
West something is great.
Right. Sorry. But it was downtown, but I can't remember what the name of the restaurant was, but they did a store pick there. And the flavor, I bought 2 bottles, you know my rule. But when I tasted it, it reminded me a lot of a great Jolly Rancher.
Huh.
I don't know why, but it tasted like a great Jolly Rancher to me, the aftertaste.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And that's the only special bottle that I really want to hang on to. And that is actually in my special cabinet.
Next time I come up to your house, we'll crack that thing. Get that going.
I don't know.
All right. And when Danny kicks it, believe me, when I get the text, Danny passed away today, I will be at Danny's house with Misty going, cash in hand, combing through the collection. I'll be crying, Danny, but I will get all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Danny, your body will barely have hit the floor, and Steve will be.
Oh, I guarantee you that.
Steve, you're doing it wrong. What we do is
I'll
wait
still
till
be
the-
warm. I guarantee you I'll still be warm.
Yeah.
Steve, we look at the obituary and wait for the funeral. We go in the house then. Doesn't cost us anything.
True. Yeah. Wonder where Steve and Jim are. Wonder why they're not here. I don't know.
They have car problems.
Yeah.
They're riding together. Car problems.
So the bottom line here, I'm gonna go around the horn. Are you in favor of this collection focuses on one thing or not? Nate, you kind of weighed in on this already. I want to get your official vote though.
I have no problem with this guy.
Okay. All right. Jim.
Overall, I think it's pretty cool.
Okay. Danny.
I think he's cool focusing on one thing, but it's just not my favorite. Sorry.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
I'm gonna go with cool, just because it does take a lot of work to track all that stuff down, and I would imagine he's pretty excited to show it off to people. And all he did was take some Blantons off the market, so there's not really a big deal there.
Yeah. I will say it's cool too. So it's a sweep. I think that focusing on one thing is not something I personally would want to do, but I do like having cool bottles and be able to track down stuff. The hunt, it takes it to a different level when you're tracking down the stuff he is. So that's a neat thing for sure. Now, I think Danny is the smartest of us because I think he's hoping that guy's going to listen to the show and then reach out to Danny with some crazy offer about the one that tastes like the Grape Jolly Rancher. I got to have that, man. $5,000. Oh, give me. He said, oh no. Let me tell you something. If he says $5,000, because this guy apparently has money, he's invested $100,000 in the past year, or I think he would sell.
Nope, I would hold out for a little bit more.
I think if he talks to Misty, this deal can happen. Yeah. And like, okay, well, that's my final offer. Then thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, sometimes
Misty would be like, no.
Sometimes you got to wait a little bit because they do come back around. If you've got something extraordinary, they want it bad enough.
So there you go. Dude, if you're listening to this and you want a grape tasting Blantons from West something in St. Louis, let us know and we'll put you in touch with Danny. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Danny, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Danny Kennard on Facebook.
Nate, how about you?
You can find me at blantonshunter.com. Blantonshunter.com.
He's trying to sell that website to the guy. We're all coming up with stuff we can sell to him now. All right. Jim, how about you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnot, or you can find me on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJIM.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got the company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. Finance will have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.